Hi guys, how are you? Good morning, class 6. I hope you all have been doing fine, you had fun, and be elated. Happy Eid Mubarak to all of you. And I guess I had wished you in the last video. I'm wishing you again. So, you must have gone through the links and the question answers which were all put up for the last chapter for you. You must have gone through it. So that will be really great. So we're going to start and finish this chapter today, that we were on the early humans of chapter 2, early humans. After that we'll go into geography. We'll do two chapters from geography and two chapters from civics. So, or we can finish the early humans part 2 again, and then we can go to geography, isn't it? That will be much more better for us, so that you'll have a continuation of the early people, like actually what happened, and we'll come to know. Okay, so we are going to I'm going to explain few things, and after that we'll go ahead and finish this chapter today. Okay, so let's start and let's begin. I hope you all have had your breakfast and you are fit and fine and strong, and let's rock it. Okay, fine. So we were there at the Neolithic or the Stone Age part, where the period lasted from 8000 to 4000. I already told you this. And then we had gone to the site, that map which I was explaining about the places, what happened, where is Bhim Bhitka, and where is Navadatoli, Mirzapur, Chirand, Bagor, Barzahom, and all that I had explained to you earlier. And about the in the Mesolithic period, the tools that they used were a large number of axes, sickles, spears, arrowheads have been found in the Neolithic sites in India and other parts of the world. Okay, so now the sites also I have read to you, and I have explained a bit, like hunter and gatherers have been discovered from many places. Generally these evidences in the form of tools we have come to know, like finished, unfinished. These places are called sites where we find out these things. Okay, now humans, what types of humans made the tools, or humans make tools? Okay, a large number of tools or actually all the three periods have been found at many places. Okay, most of them are stone, since stone was easily available. Stone is available everywhere. We look around this side, that side, we get a stone. You want to hit a dog, we pick up a stone. So that's very easy to find, because it's always lying around, it's with the earth, and we get to get in touch with stones, and we can pick it up and use it. So that was the only thing which was available that time, easily available. So in the early period, humans searched for stones that could be used as tools. Okay, so that to make out something and do something. They want to kill something, they kill it with it. If they want to paste something, they do it with that. If they want to hammer up something, they're going to do with that. If they want to cut something, they're going to, for specific needs, they use their tools. A flint type of a stone actually was, flint means a bit like edgy type stone, was used to make weapons, which was hard on one side, or you have a place to hold it, or they used to rub it or chip it up and try to make it into a weapon. So since a flint stone actually it gets chipped easily, so it is much more easier for them to use it as tools. So early humans chipped flint, other stones, till they acquired the desired shape. They used to keep on hitting it, breaking it, till they got their own shape out of it, so that they were satisfied with it. Okay, so that, chalo, this is ready, now I am going to do with this. So both large pieces of stones were also used to make tools and weapons. Smaller stones were also used. The larger pieces were used as axe heads. Some used it as hammers. Some used it as choppers. Now the axe head. How can if they make axe head to cut something or chop something? How will they hold it? So they need something to hold it also. And this explanation also, what I'm giving is, I've already given you a link also, which will be much more easier for you to understand. You can compare it with me, what I'm saying, what I read to you, and what is there in the link. Okay, the axe head was basically tied to a stick. We tie it to a stick, isn't it? Even when we want to break something from the tree, or want to hit something or catch fish also, everything has a stick acquired to it, so that we can hold it properly. And the wooden part was added to that stone axe type of shape which they made, so that they could hold it and use it more. Okay, the fulcrum, you get the fulcrum, and the force to use it, it's much more easier. It's called a first class lever. These smaller pieces of stones were sharpened. They used to sharpen these stones so that they could use it in a much more better way, as knives, scrapers. I told you all this. Like smaller stones were used to make arrows, spears, and to hunt animals. In the video also I have sent you the wide link. In that you will see how they make the tools and what are the type of stones. Also in the book you have the picture, where you have how they use the stone, how pointed it was, what were they using it for. Okay, now techniques. What were the techniques of human making the tools? There were two techniques. One was stone on stone and one was pressure flaking. Now what was stone on stone? On stone was they used to hold one stone in one hand and another stone was used to hit it. That is stone on stone, to get that acquired shape. Okay, and pressure flaking is like the stone that was to be cut, it was put on the bottom part of it and there was another stone on top of it, so to hit it, and like a chipping thing. Don't you have that chipping thing, that you have that rod, it's got that sharpen end, you hold the hammer, they keep on chipping to get it into the shape, like that. The other stone was struck hard on the blunt surface of the second stone. So this was done till the first stone was desired in the shape. Okay, so there are two types, one is pressure flaking and one is stone on stone. Now uses, the stone uses were these stones were used to cut trees, scrape barks, dig the ground, hunt animals, skin them, stitch animal skin to make clothes, and to chop meat, fruits, etc., and cut wood also. Okay, to break wood rather. With a stone you can't cut wood, but even if you constantly hit it, it's going to break. This was the main uses of the stones which they were having during the early human period. They were having this information. And now how did they discover fire? That's another main thing. Like one of the greatest discoveries, actually the greatest discoveries was made by human, was of fire. Now it will never be known to us actually how it happened, how the fire came into existence. We actually don't know, but perhaps two flints were rubbed accidentally together and fire started. So when you rub two stones together, or you hit two stones together, a fire comes out, a spark comes out. That now that spark falls on dry leaves or some other part, it might catch on fire. Okay, or perhaps a lightning struck something. When a lightning strikes a tree, it catches on fire. That went up in flames. Over a period of time, people have learnt now. As time passed by, people came to know the uses of fire. What can be used out of fire? Early humans, they assume that it provided light for them in the darkness, kept them warm. Obviously, they kept a fire burning entrance where they stayed, either in the cave or in the jungle or in a just a makeshift of leaves or anything. They used to burn fire in the night to keep wild animals away. Still that is used in the jungles. When I was also in the military, when we used to be in the jungle, we had to light fires to keep away wild animals, to cook food. And this fire thing must have happened accidentally. Okay, like how did the food get cooked? A piece of meat or something must have fallen into the fire, it got cooked or it got roasted and it tasted good. So people during that time started also cooking their food. What were rock paintings? Early rock paintings, like the early rock paintings where, like many caves have paintings on their walls. They are pond paintings in the sense they must have scraped something, painted these to express these feelings with leaf color or whatever rubber they had got or whatever color they got out of it from the leaves pasting. They may have been done on ceremonial occasions, on when they had fun or when they think that they were happy. They did these things of these the dancing or some animal's picture or something like that. They had painted on the walls. There is a picture here in your book also which said that a prehistoric rock painting from the rock shelter of Bhimbetka. That Bhimbetka is in Madhya Pradesh as far as I know. So yes, Bhimbetka is in Madhya Pradesh. So during that time they found it there during the excavations. Now the paintings Bhimbetka was such a site where they found huge amount of rock paintings. Okay, and they were round about more than 600 to 700 rock shelters found, caves where people used to stay, and nearly more than 4 to 500 paintings have been found there. The paintings depict scenes from, you know, everyday life, how people were hunting either alone or in groups. They are riding something, or they're dancing, or performing a religious ritual, of women grinding, preparing food, children running, jumping, playing. So these are the things actually they painted on the wall, which we have found, or the historians or the archaeologists have found. The colors used for painting are red, green, white, ochre. These paints are perhaps made by grinding various rocks. Didn't I tell you? We grind stone, we grind bricks when we play. When we were children, we used to grind bricks to make that red chili powder. Then we used to take some white powder, we used to take sand, and we used to make so many things. So they must have also tried to grind this, made it into a paste, and just put it on the wall by grinding. So they didn't have studies, but see the knowledge how they made these things. So our knowledge also comes from the past. How do we do things, and how we played, how the things went on. Okay, and they made it into a powder, then they mixed it with water and some sticky substance from trees or from the juice of the trees, and this is how they made the painting. So nothing has changed till now, isn't it? So everything is fine, and we are also going ahead with it and we are also following that. Still you will see children, or actually you all also, and during my time also I have played sometimes with in the group, and we used to make masala, and we used to bring leaves and try to cut it into pieces, bring some fruit of our plants and cut it, and try to make some food, and we used to play with those things and make color out of it with the red stone. We used to make chili powder, this, that, what not we used to do, and it used to have fun. So this thing was there. So this has been there in our forefathers in the past of the early humans. Okay, so I'll come back in the next video, and we'll go ahead with it. Okay, I'll explain more, and then I'll read through, and then we'll get the chapter done, and I'll have the question answers ready for you, and so that you can have it and you can learn and get ready with the chapter 2, Early Humans Part 1. Okay, see you soon.